Wait a second. I think I got it. How about now?
We are testing 1, 2, 3. Yes, you got it.
Yes. This is our first one. The first one. So apologies. Appreciate your patience, guys. Um, I'm really looking forward to today and this new chapter of seeing my face, hearing my voice, um, and all these. I think what the plan is going to be is obviously, for you guys that don't know, Gawp has going to be doing a special set tonight on a couple more. And I kind of just want you guys to get as familiar as possible. And, this guy's been a good friend for, man, a couple years now, I think. Let me do a little intro, kind of waiting for people to get in here anyway.
Drum roll.
So we got the man's like Gawp up in the place. I think we're going to call this new segment Long Story Short, because just like a couple more, not really good at doing anything short or once. So Gawp, he has releases on Dirtybird, Heldeep, Hot Boy, Seven Wallace, Box of Cats, Spinnin Deep, Psycho Disco, This Ain't Bristol, Anabatic, Ferris Wheel, Strange Love, Soup, Main Course, Tool Room. This dude is a record label releasing hoe just like me. Literally hit all of the, really the top dog labels, and then all the freaking the homie and the underground good stuff too as well. So shit, what up, Henny Shot? Let's start out with shit. So before we go into exactly, what releases you got coming up, let's talk about how are you doing, man? Shit, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, man.
Crazy
Yeah, man.
times.
I'm still on pause from March.
I
So
remember, if I remember correctly, you hit me up and were like, "Hey mate, I'm going to San Francisco. Is it okay for me to fly over there?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, it's fine. Come on over." Like it was a matter of days before we realized that we were fucked. Cuz I was supposed to go on tour that week too, and I was, I guess, fighting with myself that everything was going to, or I was in denial that everything was going to be okay. I felt bad because you flew all the way from fucking Leeds to San Francisco, and then we're just like, I think I'm gonna go back home, mate. And that's how it started.
yeah, man, it was crazy. I'm a big positive thinker, and I'm sure like a lot of people are in the world. They always, laws of attraction and all that. And I was like, my manager and agent were just like, we suggest, if you step on this flight, it'll be hard to get you home maybe. And I was just like, nah, the universal line, everything's set. My bags were packed. I had it, I had suntan cream. I've still got it actually. It's probably out of date, but I was like dead set on going. And when I got to San Francisco, it didn't actually turn out to be a bad thing because I was only there 2 days. But while I was there, as soon as I landed, I hit Worthy up and I said, "Worthy, dude, I'm in the. I don't know how long I'm here, but let's work on some music."
Oh,
So
dope.
yeah, managed to get a collab with Worthy, and it was really, I had a great time. So yeah, so I'm
And you
so
didn't
grateful
get
for that.
Corona.
No, I didn't. I actually
Okay.
flew back, and I flew back to Germany and then back to England, and it was like it
Jesus
was wild though
Christ.
because the flights had stopped from and I was meant to do like most artists Miami, and I was meant to be out there for 4 weeks doing a tour, and I was just like I was so set, and yeah, the flight stopped actually coming from Europe to America, and then everyone kept saying,
You're
Ollie,
stuck.
you've got to, if they stop flights from America to Europe, you're going to be there a while. So I was like chatting to Vanessa because I was meant to go to hers that sort of the day after my show, and it was like, look, if I come to yours, I might end up being like a lodger. I might end up so what we did was I paid for another ticket and I got back early. But the flights were so wild. There was like I think there was like 24 people on a 380 Dreamliner. It was so wild. But yeah,
And there's no way that could have been cheap. That's I think that a lot of people don't understand is that es- especially most DJs, you pay you you basically buy your flights ahead of time. And depending if you buy it right before or if you are really good, which I'm not at planning. Actually, this was the first time I was and then it got shut down, but you buy your flights a month or two or three ahead of time and you buy each one of them and then after you play your shows and eventually get paid, then you recoup all of that. And that didn't happen to any of us, right? And you had to
yeah,
even buy a fucking extra one to go home. And so like that is not the ideal situation, and you know why a lot of people are why it fucked a lot of us up. And like we obviously try not to focus on that, but it's good to bring awareness that you know we put our heart and souls into making music and traveling and meeting amazing people, but when it comes down to it, we risk everything. We risk it all right up front, and then it's like, ah, shit, all of it, everything. Like I know you had all your flights booked too, and it's not like we get our money back. I didn't get any money back from
yeah,
any of my airlines, which
yeah.
is
No,
crazy.
it's also, I also feel for the promoters as well, because they've obviously sold tickets for the shows, paid for everything up front, and there's nothing in the textbook where you can just go, C19 and get your money back. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's a difficult time. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of fed up of talking about it all.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just I'm just like I just like think positive of all this. Although it's hard, but it's one thing I'd like to add is, I've learned and developed so much, and since this has all happened in the past year, since March, I've done things I would never have been able to do. So I'm really grateful, and I've helped a lot of people. So it's really sort of, it's
Well,
been better in a lot of respects, and I kind of needed it as well. So
let's talk about that a little bit. So what are those some of those things that um that you've ways that you've grown and then ways that you're kind of like helping other people out during this crazy stuff.
yeah, well, the thing initially was, touring. I spent 8 months last year touring, away from England, so it was quite intense. But I loved it, and I'm not gonna ever, like, especially now, I really appreciate that, and everything, every promoter, every friend, every person that helped me do that, it's amazing. But at the same time, it was difficult to sort of, keep up with the music, and keep. Although when I got back, I was really regimented and like, I've got 2 weeks at home, I've got to make more tracks, and then it worked really well on the pressure. But at the same time, I wasn't evolving. I wasn't in the studio environment for like weeks upon end. I was only in for like 3 or 4 days. Then I'd have to prep again and go out. So yeah, Vanessa preppers. So just add that in there. But yeah, it's
Shout out Vanessa.
that was yeah, that was kind of like the thing I never did. So I never could spend, hours on end. And this year, the last 2 years, I've done various mastering courses, and I've had time to actually, you know delve into the sort of scientific and geeky side of it all and things like that. And time to do up my studio. I've done all the acoustics, I've upgraded all the equipment and things like that. And then also been helping people, because I've initially in March, I was kind of like, obviously, I came back and I was like, oh, well, what am I going to do with myself? And I didn't know how long things were going to last. So I was like, well, I could just sit and make tracks. And then I was like, but for it's like a boxer training for a fight that he never knows when he's going to have. It was like really odd. So, and then I decided to focus on like helping people with the productions and doing
Hell
a lot
yeah.
more things for others, because it just kind of gave me that. I was learning, I was helping them. Obviously, the money was good because they were paying for my services and things like that. So it kind of all round improved me, in a lot of areas. So that's basically the positives out of it all.
And that's you're doing that as most wanted audio, right?
Yeah, that was because of the branding, with the Gawp music, and I've got management and, sort of booking agents and all that. It's all in contract, so it was very difficult because I didn't want to sort of just do it all under the Gawp umbrella, because it'd get complicated and everything. So I've set up my, studio as a separate identity. So then it had, I didn't have to, relay to the team everything that I needed to do or wanted to do, or So it was quite good as well. It was a new project to get my teeth into and keep me busy, really.
Hell yeah. I mean that's what I think what is going to separate the people that are happy and successful and the people that like I like how you said earlier, like, not focus on the negative stuff. Like, basically, that's the motto for this whole thing, is because it's like, we could focus on the negative stuff all day long, but as just like you were saying, is law of attraction, and you attract, you project, and um, so instead of dwelling on what's fucked up, being like, you know what, I'm gonna take this time to get my studio straight, to get my mind straight, to help some people out, to figure out a new venture that still goes hand in hand with what you do, which is it's pretty fucking awesome. And yeah, if you guys need any, check out Most Wanted Audio. You got have a link,
Yeah,
or just
I'll put it in the chat, but it's
okay, cool.
mostwantedaudio.com. I've also put because I was doing a lot of one-to-one Zoom sessions and things like that. I noticed that there was a lot of people asking me where they can get things from, free. A lot of people asking me where they can get things free. So on there, there's a page where there's over 30 plugins. So if you get bored of your sort of stock ones, you can get they're all free on there and then I've just started doing the sample packs, the presets and things like that, just to help people out. And so that's kept me focused, really. But it's been great. And as well, like you were saying, it's just good to keep positive, because things change. And doing this, being in the music industry for so many years, you get used to having your sort of peaks and troughs, its ups and downs. And 1 minute you're stacked out, you got loads of gigs and everything's cool, and then next minute you don't know when the next ones are, and it's always been up and down, and you just get used to it. So you just have to while you're down there, you just have to sort of think, right, keep going.
Well, I think what's kind of funny, I forgot who said it to me, but someone was like, "You've been in your own pandemic for, as a touring DJ for how long?" Because it's like, you do so many shows, you get your butt beat by traveling, not sleeping, not eating right, like go 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 go, and then try to like figure out do what's life, and then try to make music at the same time, and then there's so much to it. And it's not like you go to school to become a DJ, a touring DJ. There's no rule book, there's no way, there's managers that can like tell you to do this, and there's mentors that can tell you to do that, and then everyone on the internet's going to tell you to do this, and then it's like, so you don't really know. And I think that's why we've always gotten along, is because we've always been like doing our thing and still being like, oh shit, what do we do? What's next? Like, how do we get to this place? How do we get to that place? And even during the pandemic, it's just like I don't think I've ever had a phone conversation under an hour with you. So like that's why that's why I wanted to call the show just Long Story Short, because I'll be talking to you and I'll be like, well, long story short, and then an hour and a half will go by and be like, shit, man, I really got to go. I got a lot of stuff to do. And like, so that's why I'm really excited about this show. I'm excited to have you as the first guest. And man, you got so many freaking releases out there, and so many good releases.
Can I cut you off for a second?
Yeah, cut me off.
Because it's quite amusing, because last time I think we were chatting for an hour, and I was outside a store or supermarket, and I'd got there and I didn't have a mask, and I was like, oh man, I've got a mask. So I found a pair of clean boxer shorts in my car. So I was like, I just put some boxer shorts over my face, and I took a picture and sent it to you. That you just reminded me.
So I have a question. Why did you have boxer shorts in your car? I know an obvious answer. Maybe if you like shart your pants or something like that. But you had them ready to go. You're like, man, you didn't have a mask, but you had clean underwear in your car, which is impressive to me.
Yeah, well, I've got I don't know if anyone well, some people know this,
beans.
But I used to
because of beans.
No, I used to have my own company, and it used to import boxer shorts and wooden watches.
Oh shit.
And we did it for years, and so I've got I've got thousands of boxer shorts, but I haven't got thousands of masks.
So it didn't have anything to do with all the beans you eat for keeping
Nah,
an extra clean pair of boxer shorts.
no. Sadly not. But no, it's
So where did that come from? Let's talk about that for a minute. How did you really like beans? That's your favorite kind of
the
thing?
beans thing.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, I'm in like a basement cellar in a business center in Leeds, and I've converted it into a studio. And the nearest store's like quite far away. I keep saying store because that's what you guys call it, but
You call it whatever you
um,
call it.
the shop.
I'll
Or
translate if
supermarket.
we need to.
Yeah, we should have someone in the corner translating. And yeah, and after a while, I was like, yeah, I've just eaten cold beans. And I took it, I Instagrammed it. I Instagrammed it once, and I would just put, and I looked, and when I took the photograph, there was loads of analog hardware behind it. And I just looked and I thought, my priorities are all wrong. However, they're not. I was thinking, I'm so prepared to do music, but I'm not prepared in my food department. And then there was a big debate about whether I ate them cold or hot. And then that was it. For some reason, every day, I wake up and people are tagging me in bean videos and everything and stuff.
So did you eat them cold or hot?
Yeah, I eat them cold because it was just like, yeah,
Just that's struggle. That's like, man, that the epitome of a struggling producer eating cold beans in the studio with a bunch of
yeah,
nice ass fucking hardware.
yeah. That
I
was it. It
love
was
it.
the contrast. It was the contrast. So
I love it. What up, Ernesto? Henny shot, man. Appreciate everyone tuning in here. A lot of family in here. Um, we're gonna do. If you guys have, let's say we're gonna talk for a minute, and then if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. And but I want to keep going with so even though this whole crazy stuff is going on, you've had some pretty dope releases this year. One of my favorites is the one on Dirtybird that we played in the beginning. How did that collab come about?
yeah, that was an interesting one. It was with Bakersaurus, a good friend of mine, Alex Ferguson in Seattle. We started it a while back because I met Alex when I did my first US tour. I put on Twitter saying, "Hey, I'm in Seattle. What's up? What's good?" And yeah, and he reached out and he was like, "Hey, man, my friends and I'll we're going to do a rooftop party at this like this apartment block where you can have barbecues and come over." And he was just really friendly on the off, and we kicked it off, and we're really good friends ever since. So if I ever go to Seattle, I'll make sure I get an extra day or two with him
Hell yeah.
and the rest of the guys. There's a good crew there. And yeah, so that's how it started. But what we said was we were going to make some hip hop, and we're going to get out the the machiner and load it with SP 1200 beats and stuff like that, and have a jam. And we did that, and then we sat on the track for like I don't know. We did a V1, and my manager had the folder of tracks, and they just fired it across to Dirtybird because my manager also manages Gene Farris. So he said, "Oh, let's fire some tracks over,"
Shout out
and
Gene.
yeah, and yeah, he played it on the live stream, and I was just like, wait, this is like a V1. This is like I didn't even think it had like I was like it wasn't finished, and then yeah, and then when sometimes as a producer you make tracks and then you play it to a couple of people or your friends and they're like, yeah, it's cool, and then nothing's really gets, and then you know Claude's got a great ear for good music. Not I don't mean on my track, just in general, because some previous releases I've had with the guys, I've not really thought they were that good, and I thought they're not my best work. But and then when I've played them out, they've worked really well. So it's they've so I trusted him on that one, and I finished it off. We jumped on some Zoom. And we got it finished off. It took a long time, but we did it, and then yeah. So that was a good release. But one thing I wanted to point out this year has been not focusing on the negatives, but every time I had a release, something bad happened, or well, something massive, a big motion in the world happened. So like the first release, I think was on Heldeep, and then the COVID thing came about, and then there was the big Black Lives Matter on the same day. Everything's kicked off on that, and and each time something else, and yeah, every time. So I decided to stop releasing because I felt like it was my fault in some ways. Some of all this stuff going on. So
Well,
yeah,
to
stop.
me, I remember you sent me the Heldeep one, and then what was the other one was on Spinnin, right?
Spinning Deep. There
Spinnin
was one on
Deep,
Spinning Deep.
and
Yeah,
like those were two of my favorite tunes that you did. That I'm just like, man, these records are gonna be fucking huge. And then just the whole industry basically shut down right when they were supposed to come out.
yeah. Well, that's that's the way it goes, man. It's you just got to yeah. It's
We're
like
used to it though, so it's like that's why
yeah,
it's like it's like that's you're uh, I was saying to my buddy the other day, it's like, you know, you can get after you get kicked in the balls a certain amount of time, eventually your balls go numb, and you don't even realize you're being kicked in the balls anymore. And then it's just like, okay, what's the next move? How do we? So
yeah. I think it's like that Rocky saying. Is it the Rocky saying where it's like it's not how hard you hit, it's how many punches you can take.
true, yeah. Shout out Rocky. Um, okay, what else here? So, anybody in the chat got any questions for the man's Gawp?
I give honest answers.
We so the crazy story is we met actually. I was familiar with your music. I think the first track that really got my attention was Blocker that was on Hot Boy Records. Shout out Brennan and Option
Yeah,
and all the Hot Boy Records crew. And then we got booked to play a party in a private island party in Croatia with a whole bunch of awesome people. I think Vanessa was there, Walker Royce were there. That was, I think, maybe the first or second time I met Claude Von Stroke was there. Um, through the Envy Record guys, and then we didn't talk through the whole thing. I seen you from a distance. I seen you DJ once or twice, and then somehow we ended up stuck in that tiny ass airport in Croatia where they had nothing to eat but like cheese sandwiches.
yeah.
I ate like 3 of them, and they were like, but we just talked for like again for like an hour until like, oh shit, I'm about to miss. I got to get on my flight. And then we've been
Yeah,
buddies ever since. So
yeah.
I was very stoked to have you come on here, man.
Yeah, man, it was great. It was quite emotional actually because it was like one of them things where you bump into someone and you just like hit off, and then it was just like, oh, we've got to go. So we kept in touch. But yeah, we were reminiscing about all the we were going back years, going, oh, do you remember this and the vinyl days and this and this and yeah, man, it was good. It was great. You know, like you said, shout to Corey and the Envied Records for doing the Ship Fam Island, and there was so many people there. I mean, I remember there's things like, you know, you guys might enjoy this, but I got shacked up with Dr. Fresh was my roomie, so I'd like not ever met him, but we'd spoke on the internet and we'd been, you know, he'd made music way back, like when I used to be in my duo, I made music back then, so we used to chat about it, and he was like, oh, I remember your other alias and things like that. And then I remember seeing Bijou, and I was like, hey, what's up, man? I said, so do you make music? And he was like, yeah. But I didn't realize that most people on the island were producers. I just thought they were like, you know, clubbers and they were just going there for a good time. So being quite naive, I didn't know who was who. And obviously the US market is very different to the European. So I went over and I was chatting to people, and I was like, kept dropping a bollock all the time like that. And then I went up to like read speed, and I was like, no way, you're so and so. And it was like, she was like, no, that is me. I was like, and then after I did 2 or 3, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait till I find out who people are before I start trying to guess. So,
What that was it was probably almost as many producers and DJs as there were actual people that were there too. Like they really went above and beyond and brought, you know, some of my favorite people, let alone some of my favorite producers. So it was just such an amazing thing. I hope we do something again. He was saying next one he wants to do in space. That's the next goal.
won't surprise me with Corey and his team. It's yeah, those guys are, yeah, they're really, you know, when you think yeah, you think you're living and then you look at what those guys are doing, it's like, yeah, take a leaf out of their book.
So we got I can't see shit with these sunglasses on. William J.
Nice eyes, by
Wood,
the way.
thank you. Um, says, what's the possibility of there being a Dirtybird crew or even Gawp Code show in Western New York, Buffalo, Rochester post pandemic? I would say there's a good chance of that. I uprooted from Brooklyn, moved back to Rochester, and planning on, as of right now, we don't know what the fuck is going on. Like so many venues and clubs and uh, management companies and agencies are done or gone, or but everybody needs to party, and everyone needs to. Music is a healing thing that is very important, and all that stuff is going to come back, I think, tenfold. That being said, we don't. I don't. I don't know, but I would say the chances are good. As soon as we get this pandemic bullshit under
Mm.
control.
I watched Codes. I watched Boris Brecker on Tomorrowland 2018. I just put it on because it was on YouTube. I thought, oh, I'll check it out, and it was a wild party, right? And I watched it, and the tunes were great. It was all this own stuff, and it was going off, and I put it on the big screen up there, and I was like looking on the big speakers, turned it right up, and I actually like got goosebumps, and I was like, this is insane. And then I looked at the people, and I just thought, in 2018, those guys didn't have a clue what was coming up and what would be, and they were sort of stood there, like some of the parts that were sort of stood there, and I was thinking, if we replaced that with the people right now, those people were us right now, we would, and I was
Go
just like,
crazy.
yeah. I was even honestly, right, even if this went on for like 50 years, well, not that long, but if it went on for 20 years, I would still go and rave. Even if I was like 70 or 80, I'd still have it large. I'd be licking the speakers.
Licking the speakers. I like that. I keep licking my microphone by accident. Uh, we got another one here. Where did the name come from? That's a good one.
Yeah,
Gawp.
I did reply to that further up, but it means, well, I made my track. My first track was came out on Main Course Records. There was my first few tracks came out on Main Course, and the first track was called Gawp by Gawp because I didn't really know what to call it. So I played it to a friend and I made it, and he just like stared at me, and I just said, "Why are you staring?" And he was like, "Who's gonna play that? It's weird." And I went, "Well, you don't need to gawp." And he said, What do you mean gawp?" And I said, "Gawp." And he's like, "In America, you guys call it gawk, where you stare." So if you look at my pictures, that's why I was like,
Gotcha.
yeah, gawking, gawping. It means gap in your mouth, going back 1800s.
I definitely miscalled you Guap for a long time. I think that's
I get called everything, man. I get called guac as well all the time.
guapamole.
Yeah, that's
Um,
it.
oh, it's Joey Jacks. Thank you so much for the subs, brother. Um, shit. So what else, man? So what else is going on? So what's the plan? Um, for me personally, we've been talking about this a little bit just one on one. Is I've been having a hell of a time finishing tunes. Again, not to focus on the negative, but I think it's good to talk about it so that we can kind of work through what exactly is going on. Because, thank God, I was about to just same time you were going on tour. My big tour was supposed to start. I think that almost everybody, that's right when all the tours start because Miami was the next week, and I was supposed to go to I think Ohio or something, and then a week in Miami, and then all over the place. And I was in the studio nonstop writing tunes before because I was getting ready to be gone for a couple of weeks. So thank God that happened because for a couple months I couldn't even go back to my house, let alone go to the studio or focus on making anything. So like I guess first off, have you been making new stuff, and how do you get inspired to make stuff?
Yeah, it's been strange. I mean, I have been making a lot of music. I've struggled to finish though because before I was like a machine because I knew that I was only home for 2 weeks and it had to be done. I'd sort of like lock myself in just with a few cans of beans until it was finished. But But now I think it's like anything. I think the more time you have as well in with anything you do, the more time you have doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do more work. You know, it's like that saying, it's not how it's not how what is it? It's not how long you're doing, it's how hard you're working. It's the same sort of thing because but I've just been experimenting because I've not had to play sounds that are specifically like um to a certain sort of crowd, or sometimes I might play more of a party set which is a bit more fun, and I know that that's going to be a fun show. It's going to be a set that's early on in a daytime for a festival, so I'm going to play a lot more groovier stuff than I would if it was like closing set on things like that. So it's been difficult to know that, because like you say, you can think to yourself, oh, I'm going to close the festival with this track, and you're going to aim to finish that track, and that fuels your inspiration. um but yeah, and also, like, one thing I learned 2 years ago, it was that um like one of my close friends sent me a track, and he was like, oh, check this out. I listened in my studio, and I was like, yeah, it's okay, it's all right. And then, like, 6 months later, someone played it at East Coast, and I heard it on the Big Void system, and I was like, dude, this is your track. He was like, yeah. And I heard it, and I went, this is so sick. I was like, but when I listened in the studio, and it was just totally different.
Yeah,
Like
we
in the
don't have
studio,
that anymore.
no, no, it sounded empty. It sounded like it wasn't finished. But on a big system, with a club where the long throw, with a long throw treble and things like that, it was just like it was a different thing. Yeah, so I feel like that's massively. And like the thing when I watched the Boris thing earlier was, I noticed some of his tracks were really intense and insane, and there were too much. So the filters were open too much on the leads, and everything was a little bit too, like, almost on the edge of industrial hard techno. But at the same time, in a studio, you'd have gone, "That's horrible." But when it's live and there's thousands of people all raging, it's a different type of thing. So it's really hard. It's really hard to do that. It's almost like trying to build a boat with having not being able to test the water and see what you're going to be sailing across.
Yeah, and that's really something that we're everybody's missing. But like as a
Mm.
producer, it's an important thing to be able to. Um, I feel myself, at least, I feel like I kind of took it for granted that I could make a tune, and then that weekend I have a show, I can go test it out and see. Not only does the mix work well, but also does the crowd enjoy it. So we don't have that at all anymore, except for on Twitch, which is a new thing for me, a new thing for I think most of us. Is everything is freaking like we have a nice little crowd here, all in the chat.
Yeah.
How do
What
you go ahead?
what I would say is, one thing that, like, kind of helped me is put on some videos of your favorite DJs playing, and on your TV or your screen, and just play your music in the background while you're producing it.
There
And
you
it
go.
gives you that, like, it gives you that kind of like false sort of because it's you're not looking at the blocks on your door or things like that. It just yeah, so I guess it's like listening out the room or listening on another system kind of thing. Um, but yeah, it's I think, yeah, it's just been crazy, man.
It's overwhelming, and it's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of like we definitely thought that we'd be have this sorted by now. Um, Maybe I don't want to go too far into this, but because things are pretty fucked up still in the states, and I know. So you're in Leeds, right?
yeah. We're getting an announcement tonight whether we're going to be on tier 4, which is full lockdown of the whole country and stuff.
So what you guys
So
have been on some sort of lockdown already,
yeah,
though,
we
right?
we are we are now, but I think it's just, yeah, it's lockdown, but there's a lot of, like, all the gyms are closed, all the entertainment, everything's closed. But there is a lot of, we do have a little bit of, like, where we can still go for, like, runs and things. Not that I do, but that kind of thing. But
You seem like a runner to me. You're not a runner?
no, no, I play football like once a week on FIFA 18.
On
That was a fun
FIFA?
guy. Now, here's a little lightning story though. It was Walker and Royce's, well, Gavin's birthday. When I came over, I brought him loads of chocolate because his favorite chocolate's Cadbury's fruit and nut, the
His,
English.
I think his family's from out there, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's it. So I made sure I had a good amount in my suitcase, but obviously I had to take it back because I didn't get to see him. So
So you just been
it
eating
didn't
candy the whole time.
it didn't. Yeah, I was gonna say it didn't last very long. It was. I think it lasted till like April. Yeah, and I'd eaten the whole like 7 or 8 bars, I think, and they were.
Man, you guys have some pretty fucking awesome candy, I'll tell you that. What's your favorite what would you even call it? European candy?
I don't know, man. I try not to eat it, to be fair, but um, and I keep getting tagged in all these beans Reese things and all that kind of thing, all the baked beans and stuff.
Reese's pieces with
Be-
beans.
beans and stuff, yeah.
Um
So,
shit. Yeah,
but yeah,
crazy shit, man. Crazy shit.
yeah. I think I was going to launch my label this year as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. We should talk
My
about
record
that.
label. Yeah, I was going to launch that, but I was waiting for the right time, and everyone kept saying, it's going to be, another month, another 3 months, or whatever. And then, but yeah, that's all ready to go. I mean, to be honest, I'm probably going to change. I'm probably going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to change things, and musically, I don't think you can release stuff that's like a year and a half old unless it's solid. But without road testing some of it, some of them are tried and tested and they're great tracks. I'll release them, but some of my own, I'm just like, yeah, nah, times have changed. I don't think anyone listens to that anymore. So
Man, I love the Kasmalia track, the what is it, 808, 808?
yeah, that's wicked, man.
I
That's
play the shit out of that record.
yeah. Yeah, I feel bad on the artist because I've promised a lot of people to release it and they've put faith in me being the first artist to sort of send me tunes. But if anyone does want to send me tracks, you can go to gawpmusic.com and there's a demo uploader there, and I'll listen to everything, like, because I don't get that many demos at the moment, because when you're not when you haven't released, everyone's worried about what they're going to send you. And I found a lot of producers sort of send me tracks straight away, and then if I say no straight away, I've not heard from them for a long time. And I think just don't give up on the first hurdle. I email them back saying, just keep sending stuff, because I'm so particular in what I like. And but something will just hit, and it's like you just can't give up. Just keep banging on the door, just put me in the favorites and email it every time.
Well, that's probably maybe you could give us some advice, as you've signed records to some of the biggest labels in the game, from Spinnin Deep to Dirtybird to Heldeep, just to name a few. But maybe you could give some upcoming producers some advice on, because this, me as getting demos, I could talk about all day long on like things that you should do and you shouldn't do. And how about what's some good advice that you could give to an up and coming producer sending their music to labels and trying to get picked up?
Right. That's always something I've done quite a few, like sort of, what do you call them, master classes or courses or online things. And a lot of people ask, or they always ask, what would you give up and coming producers? And there's a few things, and that always gets asked. And I think one thing I learned was, aim high for what you want to get signed, but then at the same time, if labels believe in your music, go with those labels, because they're gonna invest time, money, effort, and promote you as an artist. You're gonna join their roster, their family, and things. And I think that's important, because you can aim for the other labels, but some labels will just take your music and throw them out there, and then you won't know it's out until you get a promo, and you're like, what's going on? What I'm talking at is basic level of beginning, starting out, until you've got a manager to kick some butt and then get you all the things. But yeah, I think what I would say is, like, when I first got signed to Main Course, which started everything, is I just sent my music to so many people. I just, a private SoundCloud link, and I got my list of contacts over the last few years and just sent it to them. And it was I think it was Botnik told me that Bot and Astronomer and Jeremiah were doing Main Course, and hit them up. And I was like, yeah, of course I will. But if I hadn't just sent that out to the DJs that I thought might like it, and it's like, one thing I would say as well is, there was one track that I couldn't get signed anywhere. I sent it to like 20 labels. No one wanted to sign it. And one day I thought, I heard a sound in it and I thought, oh, that sounds a bit like more like Oliver Heldens. And I was like, hmm, yeah, I wonder if he feel like it. So I sent it to him. And like, I was unfamiliar with a lot of his tracks. I didn't really know much about his label or anything. But I sent him it and he says, yeah, I love the track. It's amazing. Would love to sign it. Also, would you like to come and do a 7-day tour through 5 in the US, support me on my tour and do ADE and do Miami Music Week and everything else. And I was just like, it just shows that like 20 labels turned it down because it was maybe not quite for them. But that one, that one that I did send it to, the thing I still find difficult is if everyone turns the track down and then you just think, well, it might be trash, and then you're like, oh, it could be or it couldn't be, but it's not necessarily the case because my first, the one that I did sign to main course, um, Claude Von Stroke hit me up and said, oh, I really love your track Gandals and I like Prime Society. Do you think we can release them as an EP? And I was like, what? I've sent you it like 8 times in the last 2 years. I was like, and he was like, obviously it just wasn't the right time and the right, on the right radars. But anyway, the Prime Society went on to be on one of the compilations. But it just shows that like you just shouldn't, just keep at it, keep sending them, um, like sometimes as well. I don't know if it's easy to get disheartened on the first hurdle. You can, if no one listens to it or no one replies, you just think, oh, my music's whack. I'm going to try and change direction or improve. But it's not always the case. Sometimes here's a tip which A&Rs and label owners won't like. But if you make a track and you send it out there and not many people, you don't get any feedback, you don't get any no's or anything. People don't come back and say not for us. Just make more and then just put it in that amongst a few more and then send them it again, rename it, send them it again, and things like that. I've done it before. And then the second time around, someone signed it with a different name and I've sent it amongst a few others, because it's all about, I'm sure codes. You can, if you've got a stacked release schedule and for the next 6 months and you kind of get demos, you're just going to say no to them because you think, well, I'm not going to waste these guys' time and say I can release it in like 9 months. Yeah. It's like you just say, oh, I'm going to have to pass and let them have the opportunity to sign it to other labels. So,
that's a great point because there's so many variables. Not only from say the release schedule is stacked but also that it's usually going through a bunch of hands. So usually the whoever's running the label, unless it's a really small label, is usually going through some sort of A&R or management, or so it's kind of got to there's kind of a couple tiers that you got to go through. So sometimes maybe the A&R or the manager doesn't like it, but like the head, like for example for Dirtybird, like maybe it didn't quite make its way to Barclay and he then somehow heard it another way, or it just wasn't the right time, or it wasn't like he was having a bad day or like something, and then it just eventually it clicks. And I think that's the point of it, is that this shit doesn't happen. Signing records, touring, all that stuff doesn't happen overnight, even though sometimes it seems like it, and especially from like the crowd's point of view. But man, we've been both doing this for quite a while now, and it's like that. It's being consistent and adamant about making better stuff that you're proud of, and then also just being like relentless. Like how many hours do you put into the studio? Even it's like how many hours are you actually in the studio? How many hours are you on the internet trying to find ideas or ways to send your music or for other people to hear your music, or even this shit. Like I've spent a bazillion hours just to figure out how to get the fucking audio to work in OBS. Took me like a really long time. So like I think a big thing is like how much time you put in. It's about putting the hard work and the time, and then just being patient and just consistent in patience.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think this is one thing I came across was when I was putting a lot of time in. I was like, I know it sounds very cliche, but if you're doing it because you love it, you're not going to look back and go, if that record didn't get signed and it ends up on a hard drive somewhere, you didn't care because you loved it. You love making it, you love producing it, and you've got it there, and there's a reason why you made it. Whereas if you make a record thinking this is going to be a hit, it sounds exactly like so and so's hits. It's like this. You're aiming to like try and break out and be huge. And I just think that and then you look back at it, and when if it doesn't get signed, you go, "Well, I wasn't really invested in it. I just made it because I wanted it to sound like a hit," you know. And I think
Totally.
that's what I learned. You know, if you like it, you know, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's like
That's the same thing with I and you know I kind of made a post about this uh last week or the week before, where even with just with Twitch, where it's like if you're doing things for the wrong reasons and you don't have the right intentions, like if you're DJing just to get girls and make money, or you know, I feel like that's for the wrong reasons. There's no longevity in that. Also, like from an artist and also as a person and as like a career, that's like if you're doing that for the wrong reasons, if you're doing it because you love it and you like not for the numbers, you don't want to, you know, obviously it's good to have goals to have millions of streams and a number one and all that, but that shouldn't be the end all goal. The end all goal is like, man, for me at least, just being able to, you know, we met in fucking Croatia at a party where I remember DJing for everyone was wearing a Where's Waldo costume. Like that kind of that's why I do what I do, is so I can meet people, travel, and enjoy life, make people happy. You know, like music is a thing that is a release that is important. It's like just as important as any other kinds of therapy. So to me, it's really important for not only for everyone else, but also for myself, is like if I'm not creating something, if I'm not pushing myself to do something creative, whether that's making music, being on Twitch, freaking drawing a picture of Bart Simpson on my wall, whatever the heck that it is, if I'm not doing that, I'm if I don't have that release, I'm not a very happy person, and it messes with my happiness. And I think that to me that's the key, is trying to making yourself happy because you're doing something that you love. Other people will connect with that, and that to me is like what it's all about, and doing things for the right reasons and is the important of longevity, and I think having a career and just being happy as a person.
yeah, that's right, man. I see, you know, I see a lot of people get fast success, and a lot of the time is because they're doing it for the wrong reasons and they're doing it in the wrong ways. But at the same time, that's what they want. They want to, you know, they want to be rising stars straight away, you know. Whereas people say to me, you know, why do you help people with the music? Why do you do, you know, why do you do one-to-one mentoring? Why do you give feedback on people's tracks and do all that sort of stuff? And it's like, um, I feel like that's really important because I learn myself.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm learning things from other people. You know, this last year I've been doing the one-to-ones and like I'm showing people things. And these, um, you know, young people, well, they don't have to be young, they've been old as well, but these people that they've been teaching me things because they'll go, oh, have you seen this before? And I'm like, and this is the only thing they know, but that's taught me so much. And I'm just like, and I pass that on. And it's about, you know, it's about all that sort of stuff.
Well, that's the beauty of teaching, man, is that, and I don't
Yeah.
think that many people know that until you actually teach, because I didn't know that until I started working at Dubspot years ago, RIP Dubspot. But uh, you become whatever you're teaching, you get better at doing it by showing other people as well. So like
Yeah.
being able to talk about how you compress or use side chains or whatever, being able to explain that, knowing how to do it is one thing, but being able to explain that and showing somebody else, you know, it sharpens your tools as well. So it's that's why education in general is amazing, and when
Yeah.
you're doing it of something that you love, it's just it's like a cycle of awesome shit.
Yeah, that's it. And I think it's that thing of age as well, because I saw I think it was a TED Talks one, and this guy had been in the military for like 40 years, and he'd done all these tours, and he'd done this, and he was like really high up in the, and he just got the cadets in, and the cadets came in, and one of these cadets was like, they were trying to do this. I don't know what it was, a missile test or something, and it didn't work. And one of the cadets was like 19, 20, and he just came up and went, "Oh, sir, I'll show you this." And he showed him and just did it all. And he said, "So you should never doubt, the age and the young. Although my experience is there." He said, that guy that day taught me something because he's from a different generation and everything. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's all about teaching. We teach each other.
So
Um, Chicky, what's up? What's up, everyone? So, just to give you guys a little idea what's going on right here for you guys just tuning in, we got the man Gawp here. He's gonna be doing a special guest DJ set tonight on a couple more. It's an extra special one because it's Dirtybird holidays. Um, I actually think I should have the time slots in my email, hopefully now. But let's see before I actually say anything. But yeah, every Wednesday. This is going to be a new segment though, so I think this is the first test. So thank you, Gawp, for coming through here, man, and like being a guinea pig with me. Oh, here we go.
no
Hold up.
worries, man.
Anyway, it should be that I'm playing at 11, and then Gawp's going to be on at 12. This is all EST, New York time. I guess 8 o'clock if you want to say California time. But yeah, so I'm gonna be doing this a lot more. Gonna have more homies on. We're gonna be talking, and you guys have any questions from my dude over here before we? Cause I mean, we could probably just talk all day long. What is your EPL squad?
You have to fill me in on what EPL is.
I'm not sure. What's an EPL?
Now I do feel old. Do you know what I was thinking the other day? And I put
English Premier League.
right. It's Liverpool, but I haven't followed football for a long time. I couldn't even tell you any of the players. I live in Leeds, and Leeds are doing a lot better than they used to be. So William, I think my favorite DAW is, well, it's the both. I think I can speak for you, Codes. We both use Logic, but we can both also use Live. But yeah, we've been Logic years.
We're one of the few in the few guys in the herd that's still using Logic in the house world. But yeah, shout out all the Logic users.
Yeah, no, I use both, and that's another thing I've learned a lot this year is because a lot of people use Live, and I'd recommend that for anyone starting out. It's more sort of creative and intuitive and really fast to get you going. So I've learned a lot on that. There's a lot, a lot across Cubase, Fruit Loops, all the different ones, Studio One, all the others. They're all pretty similar. They all work in the same ways, but they're different. It's just like having I guess, a different type of sports car and that kind of thing. But they all do the same thing basically.
Oh, this is a good one. Is there anything you've learned outside of music that you have incorporated into your music?
Um, can you give an example before I answer it wrong?
Wrong answers only.
So, I mean, to answer that one, I did 6 years of hairdressing, female hairdressing when I left school because there was no further education for music. And one of the biggest things I took away from that was people skills and dealing with the public and talking to people.
Hell yeah.
That thing's gone a long way because obviously you get someone sat in a chair for 2 hours that doesn't speak. It's like, right, they either don't want to speak or they're shy or so, and sometimes it just takes a bit of time. So talking to people, being a person, that's what I've taken out of music. I don't know if that helps, if that's the right answer.
I haven't had a haircut since February. Maybe my hair's getting long. Maybe you could hook me up next time I come out there. I'll wait to cut my hair until I get to Leeds.
Yeah, man. We'll do
maybe a perm.
We'll do some magic for you.
Perm me up. Reason's dope. I used to use Reason back when it was all MIDI. I think Reason 2.5 might have been one of the first Reasons that I used. Do you ever fuck with Reason?
Yeah, I did. I just used to turn the background and just didn't know what I was doing.
Me too.
To flip the background and just like.
Yeah, I remember opening up and not being able to figure out how to get sound out because you had to actually patch the sound in.
Yeah. And I think, that was pretty pretty mad. But yeah, is there any more questions? Anyone's got any more? Any more?
So I got another question. So you've been DJing quite a while too. So what kind of music did you start with when you started DJing?
Oh man, I used to do like I just did anything to play in front of a crowd. I started off doing the local the like the it was like the school disco at the end of the year. So I was like 14, 15, and I managed to get I went in and I just blagged it. I said, "Oh, I'm a DJ. Can I have a DJ?" And they were like, "Yeah, of course you can." So I went. I don't know if you have them over there, but we call them car boot sales.
What is
Um,
that?
it's like where everyone lines the car up and they open the boots, the trunks, and then they sell items out the trunks in a field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I bought two like record players that didn't even have speed on or anything, and I used to buy amplifiers for like a couple of pounds, not even much, wire it all together, and it was so unsafe. Now, if you looked at it, it would
So is
probably
this
think,
stolen stuff?
no, 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 it's just old. You know, when
Oh,
I was only 14, 15, I had like a couple of records, a couple of mini discs and things like that, and played CDs, and I started out doing that, and yeah, my DJ name was DJ Ollie P, and someone went round on the posters, and then they changed it to Lollipop, and I was like, and I was 14, I was just like, yeah, thanks for that, but yeah, so that's kind of like how I started, and then I went on to do weddings and engagement parties and all that sort of stuff. Anything to sort of you know, really at that time, it was the money I got from that was like, it was sort of really good for, I just used to play like music I didn't even know about, that my parents used to listen to. I just thought, oh, they listen to that, I'll play it at a wedding and things like that. But that funded me to buy my 1210 techniques and then buy all of my dance records and things. So it
so
was like
what
kind of,
kind of dance music did you start with? Started with house
um,
music or
yeah, I started with house music. Oh no, actually, I started. It was more it was more, I'd say, driving sort of tech trance. It was like back then. It was like it was the sort of it was more sort of minimal trance sort of stuff. It was pretty weird. You wouldn't really get a set in a bar at it. So I realized that I was getting the sets at like 2 o'clock in the Sunday afternoon, and I was starting out when there was no one in these clubs. So when they did these all day things, so and then I changed my sound after doing a few DJ contests, and then I realized that if I played things with a lot more words in and a bit more houseier stuff, I could probably play different times. And then, yeah, just went on to I did like terrible open format stuff for years, man. It was like, and then I fell asleep at the wheel. I was driving back from one of my gigs, and I fell asleep and smashed my car up. And I said to myself, "That's it. I'm going to quit now," because I was doing like driving like 3 hours, DJing 5 hours, driving back like 3 hours, and so beat, doing a full time day job, cutting hair and stuff like that. It was like,
the open
uh,
format gig is tough, man.
yeah, yeah,
Really
and
just
when
in every
you're playing
aspect
this,
of it.
yeah, and then you're playing the same songs as well because people were coming into the clubs and they didn't care, they were in and out back then, and yeah, it was like you and I think I got paid hardly anything. It was like my fuel was like half the price of what I got paid. But that's because you just, when you're young and you're sort of 16, 17, 18, you just love it. Especially being in a club when you're 17 and stuff. It was like, yeah,
Did they what's the legal drinking age? 21 there too?
no, 18.
18. Yeah. So like did
Yeah.
they put big X's on your hands so you couldn't drink?
Um, well, I didn't drink anyway because I drove. So
Oh, okay. Well, good
yeah,
guy. I like that.
yeah, yeah.
There's
No, it's
pictures. I found these pictures where I'm like 18 DJing at the club, my middle finger's up, two drinks in my hand, and I got X's on both my hands. I'm not supposed to be drinking, and so I'm like, I wondered if that was just a U.S. thing, because
no, yeah, it was. Well, we know the US is like that because I went to Mexico to Cancun once, and everyone went there because you didn't have to be 21.
that's how
So,
Canada too. Canada, I think, was
yeah,
19. So
yeah,
in Rochester, we'd go up to Toronto or Niagara Falls or
yeah,
whatever and
yeah,
go drink when we
yeah.
were
Because
19.
yeah, that's it. It's I remember playing Avalon in Hollywood once. It was 2011, and yeah, that everyone wanted to be in the DJ booth. They all wanted to be in the DJ booth, and I didn't understand why. I just thought they want to be there. They want to be like, and I was like, and then the next day I thought, I bet it's because they were 18 and there was spirits in there. And that's what I thought, and that's what it'll have been. But yeah, somebody's asked which DJs influenced you the most throughout your career. Hmm. I would have to say, musically, I was a massive fan for a lot of years of Harry Chucho Romero. His beats were so good, man. Um, but
He's still
I've,
pumping him out.
yeah, yeah, he is. Yeah, his stuff was like, it was ahead of the time. The beats were just so chunky and fat, and it's really difficult because people come and go. The styles change. I've met a lot of DJs over the years, and they're all, um, it's difficult because there's DJs and then there's producers and then there's producer DJs. So it does vary because there's a lot of amazing DJs I've seen. Um, a lot of scratch DJs, as Codes knows a lot of them and stuff like that. Um, I'll tell you who I met in Taiwan was DJ Angelo. He was a cool guy. Yeah, and he was good.
He's like a
I didn't.
UK scratch DJ, right?
I don't know if he's from the UK. Is he? He might have been. He might be. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't know who he was or anything. I just met him and we were DJing, and then didn't see him play. We just met in the tent, and then went back and YouTubed him. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, I need to practice.
Man, that's that. I think that's that's why I think this is going to be a really fun show. Is the amount of stories, and I think that's something that I'm gonna have to figure out is how to just get these wild stories out of these amazing friends of mine. But man, stories for days. So if you were gonna,
Yeah.
so if you could, what's it say? What is the best and worst location you've ever played?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say the worst because I mean the worst actually. I got booked for a party in Liverpool, and when I got there, it was a restaurant, and they just wanted me to play background music. So I played a 2-hour set of just music and I just kept getting waiters saying, "Oh, can you turn it down? Can you this? Can you change this? Can you do that?" And that was the worst one I ever played, and that was pre-Gawp days, when I just used to DJ all the time. That was the worst. The best, it's really difficult, man, because people say, where have your best parties? I mean, Croatia Island was amazing. I've DJed in bank vaults in Switzerland where it's all soundproof. That was amazing. I DJed in like submarines, train station, that was really cool. An abandoned train station and things like that. But do you know one thing I always say about this is people always ask me where the best place you played where's the best place in the world you played. And one thing I noticed was which is your favorite city type of question. And I noticed that it, it's not about the place. It's always about the people. So when I go I've got a real tight crew, or someone might say, "Oh, we're going to my auntie's for some food before the show," and I meet the families or anything like that, and it's like at the beginning, it was like all that means so much more, especially in like Asia when I got you get a trip out there, you meet everyone, and they're the things that really stick with you, rather than the gigs. The shows are good, don't get me wrong, but thousands of people jumping around or hundreds of people or 5 people jumping around, it doesn't matter what it is. It's that's really it's the other things that you really remember, the moments and the people, the memories you make. So
Where have you played in Asia?
we when I was in my duo, we released an album in South Korea, and we played 6 years. We did about 6 tours there. We played Seoul,
Crazy.
all the different. I can't even pronounce them. That's why I'm not gonna bother. But if you go on YouTube and Google the Squatters and Korea, we had some fun times there. We actually played on a boat, which was it was a ferry that was, well, not a ferry. It was just a massive boat that was just like, right, we're gonna make a nightclub out of this, and just stripped it out and put a nightclub in there. And yeah, just so we flew. I actually flew to Taiwan. It took me 24 hours to get there. I just managed to
Holy
get there.
shit.
Got to the show, and the guy was like, "Oh, are you ready to play?" So I said, "Yeah, yeah." And he said, "Oh, I can't wait to hear the hip hop you've brought with you." And I was like, "Dude, I don't play hip hop." He went, "What?" And I went, "Yeah, I don't play hip hop." I went, "I've just traveled 24 hours to play here. I play house music." And he went, "Oh." I went, "Why did you book me then? If you thought?" And he went, "Oh, I went on the websites, and you look like a hip hop DJ." So I played 30 minutes, and they enjoyed it, and then they took me off. So that's a story that I tell often.
So for the people that don't know, that was your production crew before being doing Gawp? Was the
Yeah, yeah,
Squatters?
the squatters. Yeah, yeah.
Hell
We got
yeah.
our name because we didn't really get paid much, and when there's two of you, you obviously have to split the bill, the fee, and so we used to stay at people's houses, and we used to try and stay in long enough just to get to the next show. So we'd stay for like an extra night, and then one time someone was like, "Oh, the squatters are still on our floor, and we're still asleep on the on the floor or on the couch or something," and that's how we got our name.
It don't happen overnight, my people.
Another thing I've been working on is I've been trying to think like um, how I can help other people on, like, like when you see TripAdvisor and they give you like tips on traveling, like if you travel abroad to this country, tell the taxi driver you've been here 10 times so he doesn't rip you off, things like that. But so I was thinking, is there something I can do to help other touring DJs or people that will be touring, if there's anything like little, like a blog or something like that? And there's just little things like when I set off to get go down to London to get the flights to wherever I'm going, I think to myself, right, what kind of tips are useful? And when you've got like your rucksack and you've got your roller bag or your trolley, you think to yourself, when you put it at the end of the coach or wherever it is, if you forget that and you walk off the train, you're going to be like, that's bad. That's bad news when you're
Have
on
you
a
done that
tight
before?
time. No, but what I was thinking is, right, how can I make sure that I don't forget my luggage? Right. So at the moment, you guys might be able to help me out with an idea, but at the moment, the only thing I can think of is like maybe put something like, like put something around your hand so that then when you look at your hand when you stand up or when you get. But the only other thing I've thought of is take a sneaker off and tie it to your luggage so that when you start walking down the train, you look down and you think, oh, I've only got one sneaker, so you think, yes, I'll go get my luggage. So but yeah, there's things like that, and I've got loads. I mean, that's only one. There's another one where when you're asleep, I always get the aisle. There's another tip: if you fly a lot, get the aisle, but get the one where the toilet's behind you, because then you can recline your chair. And the aisle, if you get the center one, they can get out the other side. But anyway, what I do is, if you want to go to sleep but you don't want to miss your food, just put your foot out into the aisle and then go to sleep. And then when the food trolley comes down, it can't get past without nudging your foot and waking you up.
Or that's how they break your ankle. They don't even pay attention. I get hit with that shit all the time.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're useful or if they're past my time.
You should write a book, man. That could be
yeah. Also, another quick tip is, if you're touring, is sometimes when you go to international countries, your cell phone doesn't work or your mobile phone, and what you have to do is take your SIM card out and put it back in. And you don't always take the pin with you. So one time I got to the States and it wasn't working. I couldn't get my transport, so I was asking the air hostess to take their earrings out and everything to try and poke the SIM card out. And at the time, so now all I do is take a paper clip and I just leave it in my bag.
There you go. Man, I got the. It's way different than it used to be though. Like when you used to you'd have to buy like a burner phone, and when you go to a different country, and then
that's what I did. Yeah.
The first time I played in Amsterdam, I bought a phone right when this was 7 or 8 years ago. So this was you had to get a phone. You couldn't just use your phone. Got a phone, figured it all out. Went to my hotel. And then we went to the festivals for the Vaulty Fest in Amsterdam, and went and played the festival. Was walking around by myself. I didn't know anybody. And then somehow I hit a button on my phone that changed it from English to Dutch. So everything was in Dutch, and I couldn't figure out how to call anybody or anything. And I walked around the festival till it was right about to close, and all of a sudden this van pulled up, and they're like, "Codes, we've been looking everywhere for you." And I was like, I turned my phone to Dutch somehow, but they found me and took me back, and it was a good show. But it's just, you never know, especially when you go to a different country, you don't know what the fuck's going on. And thank God they speak English. Crazy times.
Yeah. Also, another thing I've found is a little tip for anyone out there that's touring. Always like, don't ever like say if someone says, "Oh, get the," for whatever reason the car can't turn up and you have to get an Uber because traffic's crazy and it'll take them too long to get there, so just jump in one, it'll be faster. Like, I always just say that like my Uber doesn't work, because the amount of times I've done Uber out there and it doesn't work, it's like it'll set off and then that's it. they can't contact you because it's ringing back to England, and he just goes crazy. It's different if you're internal, but yeah,
Especially
for
got to
me,
make a flight.
yeah, and it's crazy. But yeah, this one time I played in Fresno for Mike and the LMC crew, and yeah, the flight got cancelled, and I had to get another one, and it was like I can't remember the airport, but it was 2 hours away. So I said, oh, the only way I could make this gig is I've only ever not made 2 shows in my entire time, so I always try, even if I have to, pay extra or get there. I just will try and get there. And it was like the little thing I had where I'd never missed a show. So I flew 2 hours. He had to drive 2 hours there, 2 hours back, which is nothing in America, but it is when it's like 5 hours before a show. So we flew there, but I think my luggage went somewhere else. It went like JFK or something. So it went to the connecting flight. So I was in my joggers. I didn't have anything but apart from my headphones and my USB sticks. And I was like, and I've been in them clothes for like 2 days, and we managed to do it, and it was quite an accomplishment. But one thing I would always say is just take a fresh t-shirt and some proper pants and stuff. Don't think, oh, I'm gonna go in my plain travel clothes, because you might end up playing in them.
Hell yeah. Well,
Yeah, new
shit.
socks. Yeah, I ran out of socks, so I had to buy some.
That's what I. Well, maybe that's a good question too. I have socks on my rider because
Yeah,
that happens so many times, especially if you know you're not really doing laundry when you're on the road, and eventually you run out of socks. Like no, and
yeah,
underwear. I should probably put underwear on there too. But the cool thing about that is, I get sometimes they just get me plain white socks, but sometimes I'll get really cool socks. Like I got these fucking from, and was it Fresno? No, it wasn't Fresno. It was uh San Jose. I got these super sick Rick and Morty socks, and then other people give. I got like 17 pairs of avocado socks from different promoters giving me different socks and stuff. So that being said, what is on your? Let's do what's on your tech rider and what's on your personal rider.
well, my tech rider is quite it's quite varied. I've got the Denon set up on my tech rider as well as the Pioneer. So it's a tech rider. The management and agent are really sort of militant about having a lot. So there's a lot of everything's there. The monitors
So
that
yours
I've
is
sold.
for specifically for Denon, or you
No,
could, or for
no,
either or.
it's it. I can play on either or the boat. It doesn't bother me.
Because you were sponsored by Denon for a minute, right? So like they
I don't know
basically,
if it's that one there, that way. It's the other
yeah, I
opposite
can see
side.
them in the back.
Yeah, that
So
way.
so I know that sometimes that can be a contractual agreement where they want you to play on that.
Yeah. Well, that was mainly because when I toured with Oliver Heldens, he uses them. And I mean, I could have requested Pioneer, but then it would have mean switching over and things like that. And sometimes it was difficult. So I decided they sent me a set and said, "Look, here we go. Learn how to use them, and I'm sure you'll like them." Um, So yeah, they both have they both. I'm not. It's not a favorite child. I'm just going to say they're both as good, because I love all the guys at Denon. I love the Pioneer guys. So, and it really is. It's that argument. Everyone's arguing, sort of saying these are better, that's better. But they all do this. They all do a similar thing, and it's like saying Logic and Live. It's like it's
Totally.
yeah.
Totally.
Don't blame
Totally.
the tools, man. They have their own pluses and minuses. But yeah. So I would have all that, but there was things like a fan, a towel, a this, a that, and I was like, come on, like, because I threw events for 10 years, and I'm like, come on, guys, a guy running around like a big show, or whatever, and he's got his team of people going around for like, you know, cans of baked beans, cans of this, towels, this, that, the other, and I'm like, cut the towels, cut this, cut that. I said, just it's someone's job to go and get all that, or I said, just make it easier for they can be doing something else at the event, or and there was things that I didn't really want that were necessary, but then my agent was just like, Ollie, but if you're in a festival and you're sweating, or if you get wet through because it rains or anything like that, then you've got a towel. I was like, yeah, fair point, but I'm just there for an easy.
You're too nice a guy, man. But that's why we have managers and agents, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a different
True.
mentality, and like not just like it's kind like the rider stuff is kind of goofy when it comes to like the personal rider, and it's not 100% like they have to get all that, but when they actually, I have a bunch of goofy shit of mine, but when they actually do it all, I'm just like, holy shit, I can't believe they actually got all this stuff.
They read it to the bottom, yeah.
Um,
Um,
and that, but the with management, there's I feel like there's kind of different kinds of managers, but a lot of managers, especially, they look at it. It's hard for me at least for an as an artist to look at things in a legal and a business kind of way, and like my perspective is different because this is like art that I love to do and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff. But that's why management, it's hard to find a good manager or a good agent or anything like that, but I feel like a good one is that extra set of eyes for you to be like, no, you definitely shouldn't sign that contract, or no, you should have towels on your rider because if it does rain at the festival, then you're gonna be fucked. But
yeah.
uh,
I kind of agree, and but I'll also argue that there's been a lot of things that I've done that managers wouldn't do, and it's helped me out massively. Um,
that's good. That's a great
even
point.
even the small things like you know like it's happened before where a promoter's car's broken down, and he's like, I'm just like, dude, don't worry about it. I'll get an Uber and we'll sort it, and everything will be cool. Even if it's cost me like $30 or whatever, it doesn't matter. Whereas if you spoke to my agent and manager, they would be going,
Fuck
you
that.
shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be
Yeah.
doing that. This all should be. And I'm just like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like there's things about being real and being,
Well,
I'm
I think
because
that's why
I'm
we all love you, man. Is like that's keeping it real, and it's like there's business, and there's things that are going to go wrong, and you kind of have to make that decision right away, being like a very hard manager's usually like, no, you got to pay this, you got to do this, you got to get fed, you got to get a ride, you got to make sure everything's set up. But things happen, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with looking at it from a human side instead of just like a business side on stuff like that. And at the end of the day, usually those kind of promoters, you develop good relationships with them, and you end up coming back. And I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's important too.
yeah. Like one thing I always remembered, because I used to provide CDJs for the artists I used to book, and yeah, some like when the scratch perverts were going, they were shout to those guys, they're amazing. And I remember when they were like, I was reading this tech rider, and it was like the table height needs to be this. This is the layout. You need a DJM 900 or a scratch mixer on this side, and you need that on this. And I did it all, and I laid it all out, and I was like, yeah, fair play, because it's all used and everything, and it was amazing. But there's times like where I've got, like, say for example, now it might be 4 CDJ 3000, and I'm just like, and then a promoter might ask my agent, they're like, oh, we've only got 2000 Nexus 2s, or this, is that cool? And then they'll ask me, and I'm just like, that's fine, man. I'm just like, I need three, because sometimes if one breaks, I've still got another two.
Yeah.
But I was like, because I know that some of these guys bust the balls off to go on, especially if they're not on the bigger shows, and it's maybe the first one, but they're really going out. Everything varies so much. I'm sure you know yourself, man. You go to some events, and everything's, they go that extra mile, and everything's just pristine and amazing, and it's really good. And then you've got other ones which is it's the biggest show you've ever done, and they've just not got anything together.
And at the end of the day, everybody, including the promoter and the DJ, we want the show to go off as well as possible. So, that includes having the right equipment, and that includes, getting there on time. And I'm
Yeah.
sure we could talk about a million stories of all that not happening. But at the end of the day, what a fucking wacky job to do for a living.
Yeah, I think I said,
I love it.
I was talking to Bot, and I said, don't you think it's really strange how we just sit in front of a screen making like moving these like little things around, and then we go and watch people just dance to these things we've been moving around, which, yeah, I was like, yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, man, and it's also, I just want to put in there that the whole Gawp thing was just, I didn't even expect to be doing this. It was just like it was fun. I just wanted to keep making music, and I just didn't care. I didn't care what anyone thought about my music, and I thought if it's weird and it's wacky, I don't mind. I'm like I really don't care. And I didn't expect to, like this is my second time round, so every like people who know me will know that I extended. I'd play 3 or 4 shows in America in a month, but I'd be there the whole month. I just made the most of it, and everyone's going, "Oh, yeah, are you going to fly back?" And you're going to, you use all your money just staying out there and everything else. And I was just like, no, because I know the feeling of that show's my last show, because when I did my duo, it was, and then when it was over, I had 2 years of not DJing and not doing anything. I was just like, and then when it came back round, it was like, oh, you're out again. People like your music. I'm like, eh. I'm like, right, that's it. I'm gonna make every second count. So,
Fuck yeah,
um,
man.
so thanks to everyone, and I'm sure there's a lot of artists on here that I've noticed that are in, a lot of homies in here. So thanks to everyone for the support for playing my tracks. Even it's weird calling them fans, because I don't really call people fans. Although the fans, I just feel like the people that just like my music, um, which is and I just see them as normal people. So, but yeah, thanks for the people that do support me. And I know it sounds very cliche, and I feel a bit weird saying it all, but it does massively help. Even if it's 5 people on a dance floor raging to the stuff you're singing to your songs, it's like, it means a lot. So
Well, shit, man. I'm glad that we got to have you on here, and then that I've been uh, speaking highly of you and playing tons of your music on this wacky, wild new Twitch stream crew thing that's going on here. So shout out the couple more crew for, you know, uh, showing support and coming and tuning in to listen to us talk. And make sure you're following Gawp. Tonight we're gonna be on Dirtybird, on Dirtybird's Twitch, and but yeah, tune in at 11 p.m. New York time. It's gonna be fucking dope. I think there was one more question. Hold on. And it's late. What time is it over there? It's pretty late over there, huh?
here, yeah, it's not too late. 7:39
Oh, not too late.
p.m. Another
Okay.
thing yeah, you guys don't really do military time, do you? Well, you call it military time.
Yeah, you guys are just like, that's just your normal time.
Yeah, I say to people, I'm like, oh, pick me up at like 21:30, and they're just like, what does that mean?
Right. Americans do not know how to add very well.
I'm
Uh,
just like, take away 12.
we'll do one or two more questions. So why did you choose the wacky silly routine as opposed to the more serious DJ route?
I felt like it's do you know what I'm gonna say? I just wanted to have fun, because if you have fun, you learn more, you just enjoy yourself more. I could have gone for the cool European, black t-shirt kind of, really serious. I just deep, dark, minimal, weird. I could have gone that route, but at the same time, it's not really. I just knew that, like, from throwing parties and booking the DJs and listening to the music and playing the music, um, I just knew having fun, translates across to everyone else. Because there's always time to be serious. When I'm in the studio, I'm super serious. I'm like really switched on and everything else. And but and like I just feel like it's not me. If I'm portraying, I'm just gonna be like, this is what I'm doing, and keeping it all very serious and very um, sort of clinical. It's just not really. I don't feel like I wouldn't want to see that. That's why sometimes people will say, "Oh, you're not. It's not professional to do this, or it's not professional." So what? It's like it's me, and that's all I'm going to be. I ain't going to be something that's not real. Even if it doesn't get me far in my music career, at least I enjoy doing what I'm doing. And
Man,
that's what's
I love
important.
that.
And that's what the Gawp thing was about. Like I said, I don't care. I don't care if, like, people always say to me as well, you sign to such iconic labels and then you go and sign to something that's like that. And I'm like, yeah, but those guys believe in my music. I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
they believe in my music. It If I could try and get signed to another label that are just that I'm probably a bit too fun and probably a bit too out there for them. But then that's me, so that I'm not going to change to fit in that label. So
Well, that's that's what it's all about to me, man. Is you're being a genuine. I mean, also nobody wants to go and listen to or hang out with or watch somebody who's just boring and like
Yeah.
who takes themselves too seriously. I feel like that's such a turnoff for most things. And we're not like politicians, you know. We're guys that our life is to play music for people at parties and for people to have a good
Yeah.
time. So like that whole serious thing is
Yeah. I think as
not for
well.
everybody.
Yeah, I think as well, Codes, is being European. I call it European, but being from Britain, because we're not actually when we're going to be independent tomorrow. So, um,
Oh
but
shit.
being like that, I've noticed you know I don't they don't I'm not as well accepted here as I am in places like the States, Australia, you know, New Zealand, places like anywhere else. I am, but if you look at a lot of the leading artists that are in Europe, a lot of them are very serious. The music's very serious. There's not,
The
but
haircut's
whereas
really serious.
yeah, whereas everything was just so serious. And don't forget, I've DJed, for 20 years in the UK, all over different shows at different festivals, and I realized that I was just like, hang on a minute, like I'm sick of this shit. I'm like, I saw the camp out, saw Dirtybird. I was like, they're an inspiration to me. I was just like, I'm gonna get signed to them, and if I get signed, I'm gonna go to West Coast. Or I missed West Coast, and I got a track signed to them, and I said to myself, I'm gonna go because I said to myself I would, and then they announced East Coast, and I was like, that's even closer. So I just packed a bag and went. I just went as a customer. I went and pitched my tent. I was right up next to Omnom. He was next to me. We all got on the bus just as a normal thing. There was Omnom, Noel, and a great group of guys that sort of we all just clubbed together. And I traveled 4,000 kilometers just to
Jesus Christ.
go and meet the people that have signed my records, and then I just went, and that's how it all started really. But I was just like, I was done with like a lot of the because it's very, the UK is very clicky. It is it is full stop. You look at the legends in the UK like Carl Cox, Pete Tong, all those guys. They're still at the top after all these years, and then
Yeah.
which they are great. They're great things, but I just felt like the American scene is very different as well. When I played my first US shows, I was playing some music thinking they don't want this. They want like out and out fun music and heavy, and it's a lot heavier. You look at the scenes, you look at the sort of the bass scene out in America, the sort of when all the whole Skrillex, all that kind of thing blew up and all that. It's like it's not it's not as crazy as it is in the well, it's crazier there than it was in the UK. So I just thought it's more fun. Anyway, that's a long answer to a short question, but
Well, I
that's
think that's like that with a lot of things, especially music. Even like I remember back in the drum and bass days, is a lot of there's not too many U.S. drum and bass DJs that play in the UK ever, But like, I just feel like that the UK doesn't like Americans that much. They're just like, what the fuck? What are you doing with this? That's not how you do it. Like we
yeah.
do it proper and like.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends that are from the US, and I speak to them, and they're like top billing US artists, and they're like, Ollie, we can't even get gigs in the UK. And he's like, we're doing sellout tours in the US, but we can't even get one show in the UK. And it's like, and it is very, I guess it's so separated. One thing I will point out, right? This is one thing I've realized is in the UK, people won't drive 30 minutes to come and watch your show, right? They will, some artists, or if it's something like, I don't know, Eric Prydz or Dead Mouse, and those big guys, they'll drive across the country. But one thing I noticed in the States was people would drive like 5 or 6 hours to come and see a show that I was playing. And I was like, in the UK, no one would drive that far to just go and watch me DJ. I was just like, that's credit to I don't know whether the road systems are better. I know your cars are bigger and your roads. And
Our roads are actually fucked. I was just watching something on the news that was saying how much trouble we're in with how bad they're deteriorating right now, and they need like $7 trillion to fix them. And anyway, we ain't talking about politics right now. But I do have a question. Maybe you can answer this for me. So, if you're American, before you go in the bathroom, and you're American when you come out of the bathroom, what are you when you're in the bathroom?
What are you directing this at me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm in
No,
the
think about
bathroom.
it. So, okay, so if you're American before you're in the bathroom, and then you go into the bathroom, and then you come out of the bathroom, and then you're still American, what are you when you're in the bathroom? European.
Okay. Did you just make that one up?
No, that I've been holding on to that one. I've been trying
I
not to
thought.
say that for the whole time.
All right. I thought you were going to blink for a second. Then I thought,
No, these eyes don't blink, bro.
no sleep crew.
No sleep
So,
crew. Shit,
yeah,
man.
we're waffling. I think.
Yeah.
People are lolling. And,
Oh shit.
so,
What up, Dirtybird? Dirtybird in the chat. So yeah, I mean, so this is again for the people just tuning in, a new segment that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to say, I might do these a whole bunch, but at least I would like to do this with before my special guests that come on the couple more show that is every Wednesday. We got Gawp on tonight. I haven't given them a roster. Dirtybird. We're gonna do? Am I doing 11 and Gawp's 12? Is that what we're doing tonight? That's what I thought, but I didn't confirm that yet. Okay, cool. Yeah, so he'll be going on at 11:30 then, New York time. Oh, sick. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so I'll that's kind of what I would go and play the first 30 minutes so I can kind of introduce and shout out my guest and then have them play. And this is kind of like an extension of that. Cool. Is there any more questions for the man's like Gawp over here before we wrap
what
it up?
vibe? What vibe? It's yeah.
A European vibe?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for. I downloaded like I had 1100 promos for December, so I went through a lot of them, and I thought, you know what, I'll try and. There's a lot of artists I don't even know who they are. I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna dig them out. If they're dope records, I listen to them 2 and 3 times. And I thought I'm gonna support those because those are the guys that are making music in the worst times. So I thought I'll play their tracks, because it'll mean a lot to them and I really dig the records as well. They're really cool. And I really like playing people's that I don't have a clue who they are. But yeah, I have a couple of my own in there. I'm going to play. Yeah, I'll just throw. I never plan. I never do. Even at like shows, I never have. I have a crazy file system on my sticks as well. So you'll probably see me going, yeah, where's that one I played like 4 years ago? It'll fit perfect now. I just jump on the search and then look for it and stuff. But yeah, I've got some new bits in there. Yeah, I'm gonna throw them out. I think tonight is just need to remember to put them on my stick because I always forget to.
Hell yeah.
Searching through, going, where's that track gone? Where's that track? Or what was the version called? Or what name was it? And things. So.
That's something that drives or that fucks me up is when I'm looking for something that like I have a couple homies that don't put their name on their tracks, and they send them to me, and then I'll be like Proper Villains does it a lot too. He'll sends me fire, and I'll just be like, Proper Villains. I'm like, every single one except for the one that I want to play, and I'll be like, man, make sure you put your name on them.
Yeah, it's funny because Vanessa was playing a track of mine for a while, and she was putting tweets out saying, "Who sent me this track?" And it was called Vera, and I was in a car with her, and we're gonna get some food, and I was like, you know what? I've been making tracks recently, but no one seems to like really want to sign him. And she was like, I've made one called Vera, and she just looked at me and went, you sent me that? And I was like, and so she got the tweet, and it was like 3 months old, and everyone was like tagging ID in it, saying, and I didn't even know, and I was just like, oh yeah, I might finish it.
Hell
now
yeah.
I'll finish it. Yeah, so
I love that kind of shit, man. I love it.
So shout out to Vanessa.
Shout out Vanessa. Shout out the couple more crew for tuning in. I wholeheartedly know that you guys are gonna love what this dude is doing tonight. I think shit, man. Maybe this is about. We almost did 2 hours. Holy shit!
Running out of
like
tape.
Nothing. It's Was there another question? I think that's it. Shit. Is there anything that you want to plug or talk about before we wrap it up?
Not really. I mean, like the only thing I just want to, I don't know. I don't really want to talk about myself. I just want to try and give everyone a lot of positive energy. Keep creative, keep making beats. The parties are coming back soon. Don't let anything get in your way. It's just, also send me tunes, man. Send me your music. I've got, you can find it all on gawpmusic.com or mostwantedaudio.com. That sort of stuff. But yeah, just keep at it. I want the world to keep creative, and yeah. Thanks for having me, Codes. Anyway, by the way,
man, my pleasure, man. Freaking one of my favorite people, one of my favorite producers, and that I'm lucky enough to call one of my friends, the man Gawp. Make sure you're following him. Make sure you're checking out. Make sure you're sending him tunes if you're writing tunes, and be on the lookout for. He's got a label that's going to be doing some things as soon as we figure out this pandemic bullshit, which hopefully we're figuring out. Until then, we'll be on this Twitch stuff. Maybe we'll have you come back on for sure sometime, bro. And
yeah, man, I'd love to. I'll come prepared next time. This was just like a freestyle, wasn't it?
Yeah, I hit you up I think on Monday and was like, "Yo, let's do this thing," and you're like, "Yo, man, you're like,
what
6 hours,
like,
6 hours ahead." And I usually don't get up before 4 p.m. anyway, so that's actually already starting at 10 o'clock your time. No, I'm just kidding. But I did get up super early today to make sure. I don't know how the fuck we did it, but we got it. It worked out. We'll do this again. I don't think I've planned anything on Twitch yet, so it's.
Oh, your other side this way. I'm just putting my hand up so that I feel like Mandalorian with my little baby Yoda.
I have a. Oh no, I don't anymore. Thought I had the baby Yoda here still. Shout out baby Yoda. Oh yeah. That's what I was gonna post. He sent me a picture of him trying to set up his pictures, and I just watched The Mandalorian where baby Yoda had the red and the blue wire, and then he was like, "Don't put the red and the blue wire together." And then baby Yoda shocks himself, and then Gawp sends me a picture of him holding a red and blue wire like he's about to like baby Yoda shock himself. Anyway, shit.
Also, Codes, just while I remember, if you guys aren't follow Dirtybird, man. I think they've got a marathon of shows going on, live streams, aren't they, as well?
100%.
Not just ours. So.
Oh, Mom just tuned in. What's up, Mom? Yeah, Dirtybird nonstop, all day long, every day, going hard in the paint. Pretty freaking impressive. I'm trying to just do 4 shows a week, and it's hard to catch your breath. So, man, shout out Dirtybird for the support, for putting out some amazing tunes, especially that was it You and Bacchosaurus? What's it called again?
Oh, Raw. Yeah.
Big up.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what we'll end with one of his tunes. We started with that one. I'm gonna play actually an older one that's a favorite of mine. I realize if I play the Spinnin Deep one, which is one I really like, they mute my channel. So I'm gonna play.
Why did I give you when you're doing it now?
Or whenever you want to send me something?
I'll send you something that's like unreleased and unheard. That'll be more fun for the people, right?
Yeah, send me something unreleased and unheard.
Unfinished.
Unfinished. Nothing's ever finished.
Our collab's not finished.
Oh shit! Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. This guy came, played a show for the Soup Crew. Shout out the Soup Crew in New York City. Fuck, was that a year ago?
Yeah,
that was like a year ago from right now. And I don't know. Did you stay for? No, you had to fly out, and we went to the studio before you flew out, I think.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
So
Yeah,
the next
we're
day,
doing some tourist things. Yeah.
we started a tune, still not finished. It's actually my fault. It's on me now. I have it. I need to do something to it. But yeah, we got to collab. We got to finish it up. I got to fucking finish music in general. But yeah, we're gonna have a world premiere of a Gawp joint.
I'll tell you what, this would be a really cool one. I've got the
You just send
the
me on
collabor-
Facebook.
yeah, we'll do. I've got the collaboration I did with Worthy, which is a
Sick.
special one for me. So I'll send you that. I'll send you that one. I'll get that one over there, which is
Shout out Worthy.
there we go.
Oh yeah, Worthy will be tonight too. So Worthy will be before my set. I'm pretty sure.
There we go. But yeah, also if anyone wants to hit me up, I'm usually I usually respond to everyone. If you've got any, obviously don't give me essays or questions, but I'm always always there on socials if you want to hit me up, because they've been quite quiet recently for the I'm sure everyone's just been getting on with doing things that aren't the normal run the mill day things. But yeah, it's good to hear from you. If you want to hit me up, it's at Gawp Music everywhere.
Hell yeah.
More luggage advice, travel tips. Oh yeah, for when it opens. Yeah, man. It's on.
Well, let's get it. That's what.
East
So we want a book. That's the next thing we want. We want a Gawp book. Yeah, of travel tips. We'll be expecting that by the end of the pandemic.
Yeah. No problem at all.
Oh.
So.
All right. So I'm gonna end off with this Worthy and Gawp. Doesn't even have a name yet.
It does. It's called Romeo.
Okay. The Ollie Master. You heard it here first, my people. Couple more crew. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll let this play out, and then I still got to figure out how I'm going to end this. So maybe I'll play a couple Gawp tunes and just kick it. But either way, thank you for coming through, my dude. We'll see you guys tonight on the Dirtybird show, on Dirtybird's Twitch, twitch.tv/Dirtybird. And yeah, it's going to be dope. Make sure you're following the homie. Shout out Polly.
One thing I don't know if anyone's noticed, but when you're doing the Zoom chats and you always you say bye and then you press leave meeting and it doesn't leave straight away, so you get that awkward moment where you're just like bye, and then you're trying to shut the screen and you're like yeah, bye.
I was like, end meeting. I feel weird.
Yeah. And you're holding it like you're frozen.
Man, crew.
Oh, actually, Codes, before we go,
yeah.
If all the guys in the chat would like to host the Dirtybird as well.
Yeah, appreciate that. Anybody that wants to host Dirtybird, /host at Dirtybird.
And it spreads the love.
Man, let me get a picture for the ground.
I have to pause.
There we go. Put my finger in the mouth. All right, guys.
There's a delay on the actual one.
I know.
So we just look foolish.
Yeah. All right. Enough. Come on, guys. Too much. I think that's it. I think the track's playing too, and we're just talking over it.
Is it?
Yeah. We're like halfway through it.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Tom Reed. Eric Lou, what up, buddy? Cheers, please.
Thanks, gods. Eat more beans. I've actually cut down on beans because they're like 12 gram of sugar in every can. So unless I wash them and make my own tomato sauce, I don't eat them anymore.
What about even, you're just talking about the baked beans.
Yeah, the baked beans, yeah.
Yeah, you got to start, man, you got to start doing lentils or something.
Yeah, not refried beans, right? Refried beans. Why refry them? If they were nice the first time, you'd eat them. Don't refry them again and try and make them nice.
Yeah, I don't know. And usually it's refried in some sort of cake fat, too. Next level of beans. Now I gotta figure out how are we gonna end this. So I'm gonna cut you off, my man. Thank you so much for coming through, and I'll see you tonight on the Dirtybird Twitch, my dude.
Thanks. Much love. Peace. We'll do
brother.
that thing.
See how long you can do this
I
for.
I started blinking unlike you.
Yeah, that's too much fun. All right, bro. Much love.
Yeah.
I'll bounce you out of here. Peace, brother. Man, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to let this whole tune play out, but man, I really, really appreciate y'all signing in. Peace, bro. I'm going to sign Gawp out of here. Shit, I'm surprised it didn't shut down because I didn't pay for it. I got to pay for it soon. Anyway, man, I'll see you guys tonight. www.twitch.tv. Oh, Ollie's calling me now. Yeah, I'll see you guys tonight. Big up. Much love. And I wasn't going to end it, but man, should I play some tunes? Nah, I'll play some tunes tonight. I'll see you guys tonight. Much love. Couple more crew. Appreciate you guys. Peace. How much longer we got on this tune? We'll let the whole thing play out. We got 1 more minute left. Oh yeah, so I forgot. I didn't even talk about any of that stuff. So tonight we got the show, and then I'm debating if I'm going to do a Thursday night show or a Friday show, or I might do like a really long 12, 14-hour show. I'm not sure. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. Freestyle as usual. Much love to the crew. We should probably raid somebody. Who could we raid? Maybe we'll raid. Should we raid Bauer? Let's raid Bauer. He does some pretty funny stuff too. So we'll go raid Bauer. I'll see y'all soon. I'll see y'all tonight. We'll drop some couple more for the man's Bauer. Yeah, what do you guys think? You think should I do a New Year's? Because I'm definitely doing Friday night, but should I also do Thursday night, or should I do all day Friday and all night? I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Much love. Couple more crew. Much love to you. Peace, peace, peace.